Okay, this week we're going to be talking about kindness. And there's a quote that says, throw kindness around like confetti. You know, just think about a birthday and you're ready to blow out the birthday candles and someone does a birthday popper and confetti is everywhere. What does it do? It makes it more special, right? And I think that's how kindness is. When we add kindness to our day and to our relationships, it makes everything better. So nothing is in the Bible by accident. I completely believe that. Nothing is random. Every example is there so that God can show us what His pattern is that He expects for us. So let's start with Colossians 3:12. All right, and it says, clothe yourself with compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience. Wow, it's like the top 5 starters, okay? And I think sometimes we look at compassion and kindness and we think they're the same thing. They're not the same thing because He wouldn't have said, clothe yourselves with socks and socks, right? Why would He tell you to put your socks on 2 times? So we have to see that compassion and kindness are a little bit different. So let's look just a little bit deeper. Compassion is actually more feeling-based, okay? Nothing wrong with feelings. So it's more based on your feelings. So feeling deep sympathy or sorrow or pity. And kindness is more action-based, okay? It would be goodness or uprightness or excellence. And so it would be expressed in your attitude and your deeds. It's an action, all right? Kindness is putting someone else in front of you. It is actually removing yourself and putting that other person in the same place. So that's kindness. All right, so let's look at our first example of kindness. And we're gonna look at Ruth and Naomi. And just in case you thought that that was like optional, Colossians 3:12, I just want you to know that the tense of the verb used in that verse, it actually was saying, this is for every believer. It's urgent. Do it right now. It's not like, if you want to be a better person, you can do this. No. He is saying in a tense which said, this is urgent. Every believer should be doing this and do it right now. Okay, so let's look at Ruth. So most of us know the story of Ruth and Naomi. All right, so Ruth was married to Naomi's son. And Naomi's husband had already died, and then one of her sons dies, and then her second son dies. So now she has no husband and no sons. And so she looks at her daughter-in-laws and she says, look, I don't have any more sons for you to marry. It's better if you just go on your way. And so the one daughter-in-law, she does. She goes on her way. But Ruth says, wherever you go, I'm going to go. Your people are going to be my people. Your God is going to be my God. What a beautiful commitment Ruth makes to Naomi. We see it could have been so much easier for Ruth to go back to her own people because Ruth was from a totally different culture. She had a completely different belief system. It would have been so much easier for Ruth, and she was young. She could have gotten married again. Now Naomi, she's old. She's not going to get married again, and she's not going to have any more sons. So there's no one to take care of her. She would have just been a widow, and she would have been on her own. But Ruth showed Naomi kindness. She showed her kindness. Not because she was under any obligation. She didn't have to. See, kindness is not a duty. Kindness is a choice. And kindness is a heart attitude. And we see that with Ruth. She loved Naomi, and out of the goodness of her heart, she wanted to be kind to her. And we know that she went and she worked, and whatever she got, she shared it with her. See, she could have worked less and gotten just enough for herself, but she didn't. She put Naomi in her place, and she took care of her. Ruth showed Naomi kindness. She didn't have to. It wasn't her duty. She just did. All right. No act of kindness, no matter how small, is ever wasted because God sees everything. Okay? Hebrews 6:10 says, God does not forget your work or your labor of love. So He sees it all, and He doesn't forget what you've done. And it's not just enough that we work, but it's the attitude behind the work. So as we're going the second mile and we're looking for ways to show kindness, remember that kindness is not just something you have to do, not just you have to be kind to your family, but kindness is a heart attitude. And like Ruth, we want to show kindness to people who we don't have to, but we want to.